Hey friends, in today's episode, I'm gonna share a crazy haunted story that happened with a guy named Arif and his friends. Trust me, after hearing this, you'll be totally shocked. They made some mistakes that you wouldn't even dream of making, and they did it completely sober. Arif was about 25 years old. Even though he was young, he had already messed up big time at such a young age. He had become a writer and director all on his own. He used to work at a production company, but now he started his own production house. He had already made 2 horror short films. Now he was preparing for the 3rd one. But this time, he didn't want to do something ordinary. He wanted to write and create something that wouldn't just scare people but would get inside their minds and settle in their hearts. Music. Speaking of something that settles in the heart, I want to tell you about a village called Devtali. Every year, on the night of the Simga festival in Devtali village, something unfortunate would happen to someone. Actually, Simga is a festival celebrated during Holi in Maharashtra. In the Konkan region, Shankhajar is highly revered. People here believe that Shankhajar is a guardian deity, and in Devtali village, it's said that every year on the night of the Sim festival, suspicious deaths happen because of Shankhajar's wrath. Anyone who commits sins or does bad things, those who are sinful at heart, Shankhajar punishes them. While investigating these ongoing incidents, an inspector arrives in the village, and when he starts his investigation, he uncovers some shocking secrets. The mind doesn't open up, it hits straight at the heart. So, what was the real truth about Devtali? What was the whole secret behind Shankhajar? To find out, you've got to watch the Marathi Z5 web series Devkale. Anyway, moving on. The laptop was open in front of Arif. He was all set to write his script. He had already written the title. But he had no clue how to move forward. He was stuck, like some unknown force was holding his hand back. This had never happened to Arif before in his life. He had never felt so blank and helpless. He never really felt like himself. He thought, man, I just can't be alone. So he decided to do one thing, call his friends. But these friends weren't just any friends, they were part of his small crew. The group had 3 guys and 1 girl. He called them right away. The main guy in this group now was Aman. Arif was obviously the lead in the story, but Aman was like the secondary character, kind of like the director of photography for the team, handling the camera. In the evening, all 4 of them showed up at his place to hang out. They sat around at home. They keep stressing out, like, man, how do we move forward? What script should we write? Nothing makes sense. Then finally Aman says, look, guys, if we just sit inside the house thinking, our brains will seriously get all clogged up. Let's do one thing. Let's go outside the house, where we've had some really big ideas before. Let's sit at that tea stall. Maybe it'll clear our heads. So these guys head over there. They order some tea and snacks. They sit down to eat and drink. The cold breeze was blowing. The whole vibe was just like something out of a typical movie. And then, Aman suddenly remembers something. He says, hey man, I just remembered this village that's like a hidden gem. Mysterious people, like those who are into horror stuff, go there to experience ghosts and spirits. We should go there too. We won't even need to write any story. Bro, we just gotta turn the camera on and show up in front of it, and the story will start unfolding on its own. Hearing this, Arif says, dude, what are you even saying? How is that even possible? And what kind of village is this anyway? If we just set up the camera there, the picture will start forming all on its own. Aman says it's true, something that's been buried deep in the pages of history. Up until about 40 years ago, that village was bustling. People used to come and go all the time. Folks were living their simple lives there. The village had a really old and famous temple, which people said had appeared on its own thousands of years ago. No one ever laid its foundation. Priests, saints, and scholars used to come from far and wide to visit that temple every day. They used to sit in the temple's sanctum that day, doing their worship, prayers, and then just walk away on their own. Near Banaras, at the Ghats, there were a lot of holy men living. So people kept coming and going there. About 40 years ago, a sadhu came there who must have been around 100 years old. But even at that age, he looked incredibly divine. Didn't even need a stick to walk. Anyone who saw him would say there's something special about this Sadhu Baba, that he still looks that strong at 100. He came and made up his mind that, for the next 40 days, he was going to sit inside the temple's sanctum and do his meditation. And he was doing just that. One night, some village boys, drunk on alcohol, were passing by the temple. From outside, they saw the Sadhu Baba sitting inside the sanctum. Still drunk, they went up to him and started misbehaving. The Sadhu Baba stopped his meditation right then and there, and in anger, cursed them, saying, "Just like you've let the alcohol eat away your senses, and you can't see clearly, you. What kind of behavior is this? Keep it up and my curse will fall on you. It will destroy the entire village and every single person in it. Just like no one came to stop you, my curse will affect every person in the village." The sage got angry and left from there. Hearing this, a girl named Mitali from that group said, "But how is that even possible? No one would come to stop them." It was night, and they were drunk, heading home. On the way, they saw the sage at the temple and started disrespecting him. The villagers. What mistake. Hearing this, a guy named Raghav in the group says, "Look man, the way those saints and sages were calm, they could get just as angry too. And their anger and curses weren't just meant to cause destruction for no reason. Often, when these rishis, munis, and sages gave curses, there was always some hidden benefit or good behind it for someone." But after hearing this, Mitali says again, "So what's up with these saints' curses then? What was the point? How is it a good thing that the entire village got wiped out?" Hearing this, Arav got really interested. He said, "All right, that's enough story for now. Let's not discuss it more here. We'll talk about all this when we actually go to that village. We'll go there, turn the cameras on, and make something like a podcast. Not just a short film, but more like a documentary where we're talking and the visuals just come together. We'll see how it turns out. Let's do something raw, original, and special. When should we leave?" They all agreed on a date. "Yeah, let's book the tickets," they said. "Forget the tickets and fares, we're going on our own. Gonna take the car." "All right bro, the date's set for next Saturday." Everyone got in the car comfortably, loaded all our equipment, and off we went. When we entered the village, we saw a big sign saying it's forbidden to enter. We were shocked, like, why is there such a huge sign? And this place is such a remote village, so why isn't there any info about it online? Well, some places are just like that. No talks or info anywhere, and maybe that's for the best. But these people just couldn't grasp how serious this situation was. They barged in. They drove right into the village. It was almost midnight. Around 5:15, they completely entered the village, right in front of the temple. Hearing about this temple, Aman's story started echoing in everyone's ears. Aman was stunned seeing the temple himself. The temple looked really old. Until now, Aman's grandmother used to tell him stories about this temple and the village. But today, for the first time, Aman was seeing this village and the temple with his own eyes. Anyway, it seemed interesting. Aman's words finally had some weight. Now, where would we spend the night? That was a big question. Some houses were broken, turned into ruins, and some were still intact. Maybe their foundations, their stones, their bricks were really strong. They picked a house right next to the temple. For some reason, they felt that staying next to the temple would ward off any negativity. It wouldn't come near us. Maybe, in some way, their thinking wasn't wrong. Night had fallen. It was almost 2 a.m. They had brought sleeping bags and stuff with them. They had come fully prepared, right? It's a pretty cold night. Outside, the bugs and insects are screeching like the night itself is making some creepy noise. The house is all shadowed. You can't see anything beyond 20 feet. The ground and the car are so wet it looks like it's been raining. Anyway, all this reminded me of some old Bollywood movie. Raghav was super excited that we'd start working from tomorrow, and I was going to bring something that would blow everyone away. This documentary is gonna shake the whole city. Completely. The city's not gonna make my name known all over the world. We were just ready to sleep. No idea what time it was in the middle of the night. Everyone was already asleep. In all the excitement, even Arav had fallen asleep dreaming good dreams. Raghav heard some noise. No one was whispering. Raghav immediately woke Mitali, who was sleeping next to him. "Mitali, did you hear something?" Mitali woke up and looked outside. No, I don't hear anything. Go back to sleep, man. You're stressing over nothing, Mitali said and turned over. She fell asleep. Raghav probably stayed awake. He kept watching because there were some noises coming from the front. Then Raghav woke Aman up. Aman, 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 do you hear someone's voice? Aman woke up, and as soon as he looked towards the front, he saw someone running away from the house across the temple. There's another house right in front of the temple. These people are staying in the house next to the temple. Someone ran away from that house in front. Aman was shocked. He said, "Bro, someone's outside." But no human could run that fast. If it was a person running, he's not gonna run. It felt like someone just flew right by, man. Raghav says, "Come on, Aman bro, let's go check it out. Arav will be happy." I said, "No, man." Aman says, "Don't do all this stuff. We're in a really delicate place, and who knows what kind of stories are famous about it." He says, "Just quietly go to sleep. Don't argue, just sleep." I said, "Bro, I really feel like doing it." He said, "If you feel like it, then go. Don't bother me, I'm sleeping." Aman said it a bit angrily, and if I say it like that, then Raghav. No way he's going. Raghav was the youngest guy in the group, stubborn and adventurous too. He loved trying out different things. Aman had turned over and fallen asleep as well. Aman sleeping, Mitali sleeping, Arav sleeping. Now Raghav felt like it. Maybe he just felt like it, so he decided to go check it out. He got up and went outside. When he stepped out, Arav noticed that someone had gotten up and left. But Arav had no idea what was going on between Raghav and Aman, or between Raghav and Mitali. Raghav was hearing some sound. Arav was only half asleep, dreaming some nice dreams. Watching quietly. He got up and saw that Raghav had stepped outside a bit. He thought maybe Raghav went out to make a quick call or something nearby, and then he dozed off again. Morning came. No noise, no unfamiliar faces. When they opened their eyes, only these three were there. Raghav wasn't around. They figured Raghav must have gone out. It's morning, so he probably stepped out for some reason, maybe to take a quick call or something. They waited, thinking he'd come back, but he didn't. They were sitting there, took out some stuff from their bag and started eating. Man, it's really late. Where's Raghav? How come he's not back yet? Let's go check. Let's see. We stepped outside and noticed that the car had tons of handprint marks all over it. The car was covered in fog during the night. Music. There was a lot of fog. Now, imagine writing something in the fog like fog or making handprints. Wouldn't that leave marks on the car? Well, this car's entire glass looked like someone had slapped their hands all over it. Tons of prints. Seeing this, they're shocked and wondering what the heck happened. Arif immediately asks Aman, "Did you do this?" Mitali, "Was it you?" But no one is admitting it. Maybe it was Raghav. He must have done it. But where is Raghav? I've been looking for him since morning. Searching everywhere, but can't find him. Now, let me tell you one thing. Just like these guys entered the village, they immediately realized there's no mobile network here. At that time, they were actually happy about it because it meant nothing would distract them from their work. No mobile network means we can fully focus on the job. But, brother, things had already gone wrong here. When these people tried calling Raghav, he didn't pick up. The phone wasn't connecting. And honestly, it wouldn't connect either. How will he pick him up? Anyway, they searched everywhere, went to the whole village, the temple, the well, checked different houses, calling out, "Raghav! Raghav! Raghav!" from morning till evening, and by the time evening came, a strange silence had fallen among them. Raghav hadn't shown up. Around 6 or 7 in the evening, when it had gotten dark, they realized some events just don't have answers. We shouldn't stay here anymore. A strange fear settled in their hearts. No one spoke, no one cried, no one showed anything. They just wanted to leave. They got into the vehicle. We went straight to the nearest police station first. Told them everything about the case. The cops have been here, searched everywhere, looked all over. But Raghav wasn't found. Look, this happened back in 2019. Can you believe it's been 7 years now? There's still no clue about Raghav. The police even closed the file, calling it a missing person case. Raghav's family has accepted that either he's no longer in this world or he's gone far away from us. The whole situation has completely changed. Arif is now in the movie. He doesn't make films. He only writes scripts for other productions. Mitali has completely left the film industry, and Aman never even touched a camera. Even today, those nights and the planning still haunt them. Why did we make that plan? If we hadn't, Raghav wouldn't have been gone from our world forever. I found out about this whole incident through a mutual friend in this group. I don't want to share the friend's name because he asked me not to, saying it might cause trouble later. If Aman, Mitali, or Arif hear your story and realize I wrote it, I won't feel good about it. Anyway, I've said my piece, and you should take a good lesson from this. Learn music. That in life, if you sense something's off, just stay at least 10 steps away. Because you never know what trouble you might get into or what kind of people might start following you, and how that could impact your life. With that note, we'll end the story here.